7 key questions to ask yourself before considering leaving your partner. How do you know if enough is enough? When do you know it's time to end a relationship? These are presumably the questions that bother you right now. When the magnet and exhilaration stage of a relationship wanes, some couples struggle in keeping their commitment to each other. Some suppose they fell out of love, so they want to part ways. Others discovered their personality and principles don't round their mates, so they question whether to keep their relationship going or not. Ending your relationship without wise judgment might beget you to lament it in the future. Sorely, when you have been in a relationship for a long time, cracks can arise. But most of the time, it's just mortal nature. Not everybody can agree on all effects, and maybe, though your love is strong, your views might be veritably different. Occasionally, the cracks that appear can be hard to fix. And no matter what the situation, you end up questioning your passions and your reasons to stay in the relationship. Numerous might say, if you were questioning your relationship, it's egregious it's over. But tete-a-tete, I do agree. I suppose it's just as healthy to question your life choices and your feelings as it's to argue over who's going to do the washing up. The fact you're questioning effects rather of just leaving without vacillation speaks volumes in itself. Your erected up resentment or wrathfulness might be getting in the way of the love you still have for that person. So here are 7 key questions to ask yourself before considering leaving your partner. But before starting, do not forget to share it with a friend in need if you think any of your friend is planning on leaving their partner. 1. Why do I want to break up with this person? This may feel like an egregious question, and one your musketeers will inescapably ask, to which you will have a rehearsed response. Outlining in pellet points, or indeed writing down the reasons for breaking up, can help you feel validated in your decision. It can indeed be as simple as writing a pros and cons list for breaking up. This is especially helpful for those who go back and forth between wanting to break up with their significant other and staying with them. Seeing your own passions written out can give you an unforeseen epiphany like, why did not we break up sooner? And if you feel comfortable, passing in a family member or friend who has no particular stake in the matter can help you feel more confident in your decision. 2. Are my requirements being met? When your emotional requirements are unmet by those you're closest to and thus most dependent on, especially your mate, you can find yourself feeling unloved, rejected, and alone. When you communicate your hurt and nothing changes, resentment and bitterness set in. Still, you must be sure that you do and have unrealistic prospects, because if that's the case, you might be the problem and not your mate. 3. Is it them, or is it me indeed, just a little bit? Still, chances are you suppose there is an issue with them. If you are allowing a breaking up with someone, but take an alternate to reflect on yourself, still it's possible you are unfairly condemning everything on them. If all your relationship's problems appear to be caused by your mate, is there any part you played? Are there miscalculations you made as well? If you leave someone over commodity, you are actually responsible for. It will show up again with the coming person you get together with. 4. Do I feel happy or upset the maturity of the time? Of course, no relationship comes without some trials and agonies, and hourly the struggles that people face together make their relationship stronger. Still, the dark shadows shouldn't completely mask the sun, meaning that you should still feel overall happiness in the relationship. Indeed, when life throws you a wind ball, you should no way stay in a relationship just because you feel you should out of a sense of obligation. If you do and feel happy, you have every right and responsibility, actually, to expose your passions to your mate. No relationship is atrocious at every moment. One reason commitment is so precious is that it carries us through the less than atrocious times. It's when the less than atrocious times come the norm. And you do want to anticipate any atrocious bones in the near future that you naturally and justifiably start to suppose of druthers. Commitment can carry the weight of keeping a relationship together formally in a while, but it can't do the job on an ongoing base. There has to be commodity of value to a relationship itself to support the mate's commitment to it, says White. 5. Can you not talk about your problems presently? The one common denominator in successful connections is communication. Indeed, when affects are going well, it's important to maintain good communication with your partner. However, also it might be time to take a step back and estimate what's passing in your relationship that has caused that change, if you're chancing that it's getting further of a challenge to have these conversations. 6. What does my future look like with my mate? It can be bogarting to suppose about the future. But generally, if you are with the right person, it's a content you are both eager to bandy. College is a time for particular growth. Try new effects and exploring the endless possibilities that await you in the real world. It only makes sense that people change as they get aged or devote themselves to new paths. Healthy connections involve individualities that are suitable to grow together. They support one another and encourage them to enjoy themselves, knowing at the end of the day their love is strong enough to last through it all. You shouldn't feel like your mate is holding you back in any way. However, that's a serious conflict. She says, if one of you wants to travel the world and the other would like to stay in his or her birthplace ever. Determining whether you and your so have the same pretensions in mind is a big step in figuring out whether or not the relationship will actually last. It's scary to admit you might be in a dead-end relationship. But allowing about the future is the first step to determining how to make your dreams a reality. You shouldn't be with someone who makes you feel limited. End of story. A relationship, in the long run, is a lifelong commitment. The state of your relationship right now is a regard of your life a many times down the road. However, they may lead to commodity worse in the future, if your differences beget constant dissensions now. Also, if your relationship brings out the worst in you rather of inspiring you to be your stylish. Also, it's not presumably worth keeping. 7. Our families. Families hold a special place in our hearts, and hourly their opinions count and in turn impact the way we live. When opposition and negative commentary constantly radiate from the people you hold dear, it may come to a point where you have to choose to follow your heart or your family. Which bone matters more to you? Conclusion. In a relationship, it may help when both mates are aware of each other's requirements and solicitations, whether emotional or physical. Knowing whether your requirements are fulfilled in your relationship can bear you to dissect your position of happiness and pleasure. Consider if commodity is missing that feels like a deal breaker to you. For illustration, some couples may feel that their relationship is unfulfilling due to the following: a lack of physical touch or sexual desire, a lack of loving words or language, X saying, I love you, a lack of thoughtful gestures, a difference in childrearing ideals or the desire for a family, a difference in core values or beliefs, a lack of time spent together, arguments. Still, consider whether those are effects that may change, if you can point to specific effects that need work in your relationship. However, decide whether you are willing to stay the quantum of time it may take for change to be. If you feel that the relationship can change, ask yourself, do I want to try to make effects work out? Can I commit to the time and trouble it takes to fix effects in my relationship? Can I admit to areas in my relationship where I may be contributing to difficulties? Do I believe my requirements are commodity the person I love would be willing to acclimatize to? Do the positive aspects of my relationship outweigh the negatives for me? Still, it might be worth having a discussion about perfecting your relationship rather of ending it, if you answered yes to these questions. However, agitating your enterprises with a relationship therapist may be helpful. If you are still doubtful, perhaps it's still worth the commitment. It's normal for a relationship to go through challenges. No relationship is perfect. Still, when there's love, understanding, tolerance, and respect for each other, a relationship can still strive in malignancy of failings and differences. Search deep within your heart if ending it's what you truly want and need. So this is all for today's video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as we upload a video. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in next one.